Hey everyone, welcome back to Adventures with Edna. I'm Chris, and today we're going to be working on some maintenance on an Edna a little bit. Going to replace a exhaust manifold gasket. Edna has headers in there, and one of the gaskets is blown, and you can actually hear it pretty well when you're driving, and it backfires through it a little bit, so we're going to get that changed out. It's been a problem for a little while now. It just seems like I can't get around to doing it. So we're going to be working on that today. But first I'm going to show you a few other things that got done off camera that needed to be done on here. Alright, so first one of those things is Edna's horn, which hasn't worked since we started the rewiring project, but I finally got it wired up correctly. So it's working now. Another thing is this button. The horn button itself is really hard to get on and off. All you're really supposed to do is just push in and twist. And to take it back off, you twist the other way. But it just does not like to go on and off. So I finally got that back on right, so that's fixed. Another thing I got done was with part of the rewiring. My oil pressure gauge hasn't been working, but I got that hooked back up. It wasn't that it wasn't working, it just wasn't hooked up. But I finally got that hooked back up yesterday when I was fixing the horn, so that's working again. Again, the new door panels, which look great. Pretty happy with those. One thing which you can't really see from here is I got Edna's tag light done, because if you look here, this little light right here is supposed to shine down onto the license plate, but because of the bumper being right here, you can't really see the light down here on the plate. So you can see I got a little light down in here, right there, that now shines down onto the plate. So we don't have to worry about getting pulled over for that. Edna got a new tire, which I had put on the other day in the Hot Rod Power Tour video. I mentioned that this tire was completely bald, so that's fixed now. I got that put on the other day. Wiring still looks terrible. I've got to get that done, so that's coming pretty soon. So if you get down into this region, you can see Edna's got headers, and the gasket is blown right here. That gasket's blown, so we got to get that changed because it's backfiring like crazy. You can kind of see the exhaust build up around it. Shouldn't be too big a deal. I don't actually have to take the battery out for this project, but I'm going to, just because the cables need to be cleaned up. They look terrible. So we're going to pull that out of here real quick. It might give us a little bit more room to get in there. So let's get started. Do our negative cable first. Man, that thing's loose. Alright, so that could have caused issues. That looks terrible. It's rusty and corroded. So is this one. This one's even furry. This one is on there. There we go. Now it's coming off. Yeah. Good. Now we can pull the battery out. I took 15 tools. I'll clean these connectors off before we put it back in. Or maybe we'll just go ahead and clean them right now while we're thinking about it. It's rusty. Now we got to see if we can get the camera into a decent position to see what's going on down here. So first, we're going to get these ones out of here. That gasket looks terrible. An H10. Too big. So it must be the H9. It's kind of weird that it uses these. Now, in theory, these should come out fairly easily since I had the exhaust done 3 years ago. So these haven't been rotting away for, the last 50 years. There's one out. It's very black. One might think I had an exhaust leak. Now the next ones are going to be these, which look to be 3/8 maybe? Alright, so this one's also, well not also, but it's 3/8. This would be a nice place to have like some kind of air tools. Might have to use a wrench. Yep, gotta do the bottom one with a wrench. Even though only the one is blown, you gotta take all of them off. So I might as well put all new gaskets in. I don't feel like I'd be doing myself a favor by trying to do this from the bottom. But I could be wrong. Alright, so maybe it is easier to get down here from underneath. Maybe. Well, I can't get my other hand in here. I don't think the camera's pointed at anything important. How do I look? I don't have much leverage where I'm at. Not necessarily leverage, but clearance, so I'm only turning this thing a little bit, and I'm having to use a wrench because I can't get the socket in there. This is not a lot of fun. Let go! I need this thing to not drop on my face, too. Yeah, that positive cable didn't want to come off at all. I had to fight it. It's close-ish. If I could see what I was doing, that might make a big difference, but I can't see nothing.
Or at least this side won't fall on me.
Yeah, that thing's gone.
Wow.
There's no asbestos left.
Is that why it's 2 pieces?
Yeah. Oh, cool. If I come back here, I can actually see what I'm doing. Let go! Give her a wrench back. Give it to me. Starter's right there. Okay, good. So it's not going to drop on my face. Alright, I'm coming out. Alright, so here's the gaskets. This is the one that was blown, which is now in 2 pieces, and there's no asbestos in there. We like our asbestos. This one was okay. See, it's 1 piece, and it still has the asbestos in it. At least I think that's what these things are made out of. But we have new ones. So from last year, when I had to change a whole head, I got a complete gasket set for the engine because it was cheaper than just getting, it wasn't cheaper, but It was only a little bit more to get the entire engine set versus just the header gaskets. Well, I mean the head gasket. Now we should have, how many of these? There should be 6 of these. Now they come in 2 different sizes, which is kind of weird. It's a flathead thing. Y'all wouldn't understand. So we've got that one. Okay, so maybe they aren't different. How many of these we got? We got 1 imposter in here. So there's 1, 3. Alright, so I don't think that one. How many gaskets I got here total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 2 of these don't go here. So I'm guessing it's this one, and the rest of them are the same. So now what we need to do is start putting these in. They're just a different style than what was in there. Probably a lot of carbon buildup on there. Not as bad as I thought. As you can see, the black. There's black right here. Black right here, probably from the exhaust just coming straight up. Alright, let's get a bird's eye view from down below. Alright, so this is what I was looking at from down here. You can see the header uses a 4-bolt flange to bolt there. And now, weird, we gotta get these new gaskets in here. I figured it might be easier to reach these from underneath. So let's see what we can do. So let's start here-ish. Maybe. If the camera wants to cooperate. I don't think it does. Maybe if we come over here. Maybe. Alright, we gotta get in there with a gasket and a bolt. And not knock the camera down in the process. So that's gonna go up into here. And we're gonna drop it on the ground. Drop the other one. Huh?
You got this? You need me to hold it up?
Oh no. Alright, so there's one. Let's get another bolt in there. My hand doesn't bend this way, but we're doing it anyway. I don't think it's starting. Another one? Yeah. Why not use a ratchet if you could use a ratchet? I don't actually know why, but for some reason, for flathead V8s, the front bolts are different. Like they're bigger for some strange reason. And I don't know why. So if anybody knows the answer to that, they can feel free to leave it in the comments below. And then maybe we'll know. For my set of headers, it has the hex heads up front, and then it has regular small bolts in the rear two pipes. One of the reasons to put headers in these things is since the center two exhaust valves share an exhaust port, this kind of helps with the heat displacement on here, so it's supposed to help with cooling, in theory. Or so I read when I was looking at headers. When I first got Edna, both manifolds were cracked and looked terrible. And the whole exhaust was all just full of holes, and it was making all kinds of racket. Exhaust coming out everywhere. It wasn't pretty. But now, everything should be good. Let's see if I can get back where I can see this one. I had all the original exhaust work done at Master Tone Muffler several years ago. And they did a great job getting everything out, although they ran into problems. Several of the original bolts broke off in the block, and they had to get those out. So I'm sure they did not enjoy that at all. But they did great work as far as the actual putting in the headers and redoing all the exhaust work and everything. I was really happy with the job, and Edna really sounds great. And I get a lot of compliments on it sounding good and all that, so props to them. Could have taken it off. I chose not to. Alright, well, it's a little overexposed now with the light on. Turn it back off. I don't know. It's kind of hard to see, but it's very black through here from the exhaust escaping. You can see the buildup there on my finger. Also, for some reason, somebody painted Edna's engine blue. I know it was rebuilt at one time, so that might have a little bit to do with it. Alright, so everything is tightened up, so all we gotta do is put the battery back in, start it up, take it for a little drive, see if we hear any of the normal popping that we get from the exhaust leak. See how it goes. Got the battery cleaned up and all the terminals cleaned up. So everything should go back in nicely. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to get some kind of terminal protector on these since they corroded so bad. Alright, let's fire up. Well, I feel like she sounds much quieter now. Let's take her for a spin, see how she does. Backfiring when I shift either.
Noticed.
Seems very quiet here in the cab, which is nice. I'm not getting the normal backfire that I get through the, like when I shift, it usually kind of pops a little bit. A big difference, I think, so far. So if I let off, I'm not getting any sputtering. Speed bump.
$19.50. Yes, sir. It's a Ford F1. Very neat. Yeah.
That is definitely much quieter now. Seems like all the popping that used to do when slowing down and shifting gears that it did hasn't popped once. So I feel really good about that. And it just seems so much quieter here in the cab. I guess it's just one of those things where you kind of don't realize how bad it's gotten until you fixed it, like a shower curtain. Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode. I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. I kind of thought it was not going to be overly interesting, but I'm so happy about the way she sounds now. Big difference with the not having an exhaust leak. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys liked listening to Edna run. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching Adventures with Edna, and we'll see you in the next one.